Alright guys, so I think we can all agree that recessive projects are pretty badass. A lot of the coolest cutting edge combos come from recessive projects. Now, recessive genes carry their issues, one of which being cost. Great if you're working with the gene, not so great when you're trying to get involved with the gene. Now, because of how hard recessive genes are to replicate and reproduce and stack combos and stack genes into those recessive projects, that's why they really keep their value. You need to basically skip a generation in order to make them again by raising up hets and double hets, and you guys already know all that. But I wanted to talk to you guys about how to get involved in recessive projects for not a whole lot of money. Every price point, really. Now, the cheapest way is going to be to buy a het male. So you buy your het male, you bring him home and you breed him to 2 of the girls in your rack. Only 2. Let's say they both go. Now, on average, ball pythons give you 6 eggs per clutch. Let's just call it 6. And you're going to breed 2, so you're going to get 12 eggs total in one season from that male. 12 eggs sired by that male. Now, because he's a het, half of the babies, theoretically, should be het for that gene. Now, let's use clown for an example. You buy a het clown, and it doesn't have to be just clown. It can work with monsoon or lavender or puzzle or pied or whatever you want it to work with. So you buy your het male, you bring him home, you breed him to 2 girls. 12 eggs. Half of those should be females. Half of those females should be het for whatever you bought. So let's say you bought a het puzzle male. Het puzzle male, bring him home, bring him to 2 girls, 12 eggs, 6 female pos het puzzles. 3 of those 6 statistically should be hets. Now you just got involved. I will tell you that some of those 6 females, I can't tell you 3, it might be 4, it might be 2. Some of those girls that you hold back will prove het puzzle. Now you just got involved into a pretty good project for not a whole lot of money. And this works with monsoons, this works with sunsets. Sunset's another great example. Very expensive still for most keepers. However, you can pick up a het male for not a whole lot of money, and you can get involved into a real high-end project with just a het male. Then mark my words, if you buy the het male and you follow through and hold back those girls, you will make sunsets. It will happen. Now, that's the cheapest option. Next option is to buy a pair of hets. A pair of hets is also very good because you know that both carry the sunset gene. Sunset, puzzle, monsoon, you get the idea. Both carry the gene. You know that when you breed those 2 back together, 1 in 4 statistically should be a sunset. Now, I've had recessive clutches where it's het to het and I get half of them kind of come out the visual recessive. It's rare. I've also had stuff that I know is het to het that I got none. Now, when you buy not the double hets, the pair of hets, when you buy that pair, I still highly recommend, while you're growing that female up, start breeding that male into your other animals in your collection. Keep those females back. The original het you bought will get the size first. Hopefully, when you breed them together, you get your visual recessive male. This is in a perfect world. Again, it doesn't always happen that way. Hopefully, you get your recessive male. Now you take your recessive male and you run back to all your pos hets. You'll prove them out pretty quickly because now half of the clutch should be. So those are the 2 cheapest options. The option that I do the most often is buy the visual male and some het females. Now, it works for me because I have most other recessive genes in my collection as breeder girls. So for example, if I were to buy a monsoon male or a sunset male, I could take that male home and very quickly get the double het sunset clowns, the double het sunset desert ghost, or sunset puzzle, or whatever you want. Because I have the ability to put that male to work right away, it makes sense. But I still want those het females. Now, when I do buy a visual male and some het females, I put my male to a bunch of combo codom genes, codom snakes, to make a variety of different hets, and I also put them into some recessives to make my double hets and my real holdback stuff. The real long-term project animals. Now that's going to be probably your mid-tier as far as budget goes. The visual male is going to be fairly expensive, but the het females shouldn't be too bad. And then obviously your most expensive option is going to be to buy a pair of visuals. Now that's obviously what I'd like to do, and what I try to do, honestly, in most cases, most projects, that's what I would do. Now there are some projects that's crazy to do. It's just unattainable. And I think I'm better off with my dollar to buy the male and pair of hets. Now, when you buy the pair of visuals, you cannot undervalue what that visual female does for you. Now, because I have these other breeder recessive girls at home, I can take my male Sunset and put him into, Pastel Clown and Firefly Clown and Enchi Clown and so on and so forth. But if I have the visual female, my options with males are much higher powered than I do have in female. So I hope that helps you. Please do not underestimate the value of a het male. That het male is a very inexpensive ticket into some really, really cool stuff. I don't see enough people working with just a het male. For example, let's say we're talking about Sunset. I know guys that really like the project, really want to work the project, but they just say, well, I'll just wait for the price to come down so I can buy my visual. Sure, I have no issues with that, but you do give yourself a head start buying a het male. You buy a het male Sunset, run them into some girls, keep all the female offspring back, put them in your racks, set them and forget them, grow them up. When the price does come down on that Sunset, maybe you're at the point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to buy that male. Price gradually starts to come down. You grab that male. In the meantime, you've grown up 6 or 7 possible hets. Some of those are going to prove out, and bang, you're producing Sunset combos right away. Hope that helps. Don't underestimate the value of a het male. And this weekend, we're going to be showing you a clutch of snakes that just hatched out. It is really cool. One of the coolest clutches of the year. Make sure you like, comment, hit that notification bell, subscribe, share it, do whatever you got to do. And we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for all the support. Take care.